Welcome to the family with
Officer Dave.
And Andy Brant Bernard.
And I'm Josh Arnold. I'll be late.
That's a really bad
Is
impression.
that how
of
he
you.
talks?
Yeah, not really. So, what are you going to do? I cannot believe this, but they're claiming this is true. Labor Day weekend, of course, starts today at 5 o'clock, usually when everybody's off work, kind of.
Yeah.
Goes through Monday till Tuesday morning. Labor Day. I can't believe this is true, but apparently it is true. How many hot dogs are eaten over the Labor Day weekend?
50 billion.
50 billion is a little high.
I mean, if we assume one per person, about 350 million.
212 million hot
So
dogs.
that's
Wow.
about 2/3 of people eat a hot dog. That makes sense, I would say.
Well, I'll eat a hot dog. Heck yeah.
If it's done right.
Well, you got to boil them. You can't microwave them at all.
Well, no,
No.
Or
microwave
steam
hot
them.
dogs
Yeah.
are gross.
Plus, it's got to be a good kind of hot dog, too. I
Yep.
like the bent ones that are like from the butcher.
Yep.
I like those a lot.
Those are good. The true kind of hot dogs,
Right.
Those are good.
Yeah, I just, hot dog. You guys I know that the family's going to get together over the weekend. We got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, which is nice.
Nice.
Got the 4-day week next week, so we like that.
Mm-hmm.
That comes across every year. But anything else in the news we should know about?
I don't know. Is there anything worth talking about? Because it's all politics.
Well, it's all, since you brought up all politics, I think I might wait till Josh gets here to bring this one up, because I heard a stat yesterday. It's like, where you got that stat, I do not understand, because there is no way that's true. But I'll wait till Josh gets here and get his take on that too. Well, here's a good story that I can open with right here, ladies and gentlemen. A guy in Colorado ordered some guitar tuners from Amazon, and he got the bag in the mail. The good news is he also got the tuners in a different bag. His name is John Rossiter, talking about his surprise package. The first package he got from a delivery service. I'm assuming, well, it says in the story it's from Amazon.
Oh, really?
So it did come up in the story. So a guy in Colorado named John Rossiter received a bag of poop in the mail.
Ooh.
Somebody pooped in a bag and delivered it to his.
I believe that is quite illegal.
Why? Yeah, I would imagine it probably. Why would you do that to anybody is what I don't understand.
Well, it's also possible that it's not true and he just wants attention.
There is that.
Maybe. Yeah,
I assume
maybe.
every story like this is fake until proven otherwise.
Yeah, you're probably
a bit
right
cynical.
about that. I would guess. Of course, September begins on Sunday. A few things to look forward to in September. Of course, had to be August when the Gopher football season started. But when's that guy going to get fired?
Oh,
those teams make so many mistakes. Just kind of, I honest to God would like to see both the Twins manager and him get fired. Every time it gets to be, where it's right down to the wire, they lose.
Yep, that's true.
I'm so sick of that.
Yeah, it's I don't know that whole thing is just how you get that much. Is it the Minnesota thing that you win like 2 games and oh my God, we love you?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
We're gonna lock you up forever.
Yep.
You're right. But with a 3-day weekend coming up, believe it or not, August is just about over. Here are 5 things to look forward to in September. In sports, the NFL season kicks off next Thursday with the Chiefs hosting the Ravens. Then the next day, the Packers play the Eagles in Brazil.
Ooh,
Brazil. That's a big soccer country,
Well,
isn't it?
oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
but the NFL, to get more money, they want to go global and not just America.
Yeah, well, it's like how
that's
they're in London and have been for a while.
Yep.
Why did they have to throw this in there? College football is just getting started. Why'd you bring that up? Gophers got their ass handed to them. Missed a field goal, huh?
I didn't watch. I had to go to bed. I'm so old. I go to bed at 9:00.
I think there was an interception and a missed field goal is why they lost that game. Nice touch. The Paralympic Games in Paris are going on until the 8th, and tennis fans have the U.S. Open through September 9th. Beetlejuice sequel, Beetlejuice, got 2 names.
Making a Beetlejuice sequel?
Yeah. Apparently, none of the people are in it that were in the first.
I thought Michael Keaton was still in it.
Oh, I think he's still in it. Yeah,
and then
right.
Winona Ryder, I think.
Oh, are they? I like Winona Ryder.
She's cute.
She's from Minnesota. You
Yeah.
know that? Uh-oh.
There it comes.
That sounded
missed-
very Jewish to me. Oh, look at that.
I missed it by 2 minutes.
You did. You called it, and then you were off by 2 minutes. There's no question.
Yep.
Yes. What's up, Josh Arnold? Oh, by the way, I saw this morning that you called me last night, so I apologize for that because I found out. I didn't think you wanted me calling you at like 5:30 in the morning, though.
I would have been up.
You were up at 5:30.
5:30. I'm up.
You got it. Can you got your? Can you hear? Can you handle it or not?
Well, they're on because
You
I
got-
can hear them all the way over here.
Are they? Can you hear? Should we try some other ones?
That would work.
There's some right next to him, right there. You can get
Oh,
that
those are the
going.
ones with the mic.
Oh, they're here. Okay, so. Should we have them try these? Oh, you know what? These have been charging longer. Here you go, sir. Oh, look at he comes all the way over here to make it convenient. That was nice. Yeah.
I'm a good guy.
Is that good now?
Oh, perfect.
So you can
Much
hear
better.
it magnificent. Because
There you go.
I waited till you got here to ask a question, but we're talking right now about August, almost over 5 things to look forward to in September. Number 1 was the NFL season kicking off next Thursday with the Chiefs and the Ravens. The Vikings play. Can you do it? Can you hear it?
Sure, I can hear it.
Oh, you can. I just want to make sure you can hear.
I can hear. I can hear you without the headphones.
That's true because I do. I speak very loudly. There's no question about
Booming
it.
voice. Booming voice.
In theaters, Beetlejuice sequel Beetlejuice hits theaters on Wednesday. The animated movie Transformers 1 is out September 20th. The Wild Robot, the 27th. And Francis Ford Coppola's epic sci-fi drama Megalopolis is also out that day. So a lot of things that happens every year, though, doesn't it? September. Now you can't hear?
No, that's the headphones Josh tried. They're really super staticky, and
Oh, they are.
The tuner
Crappy.
knob got messed with.
I tried to dial them in,
so
and
the
they're just
tuner,
not going to
yeah.
dial.
There
in.
you go. But in any case, a ton of TV shows are back. Dancing with the Stars, The Voice, America's Got Talent, Grey's Anatomy, and season 2 of Frasier. I won't watch any of those, so it doesn't matter to me. I used to love Frasier, but the new one sucks.
Does it really?
I've heard it's really just not very
It's
good.
not good at all.
Our buddy Mark Benninghoffen was in one of those episodes.
Was he? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How do you know Benninghoffen?
He lived in where I worked, and we got to be really good
Yeah, Mark's
friends.
a good guy.
He's a great
A
guy.
good voiceover guy.
Oh,
good
yeah.
writer, director. I used to work with him all the time back in the day.
Yeah, he's amazing, fun guy to be around.
No, he is a very nice guy.
Little high strung sometimes.
No, an actor who's high strung. Who ever heard of it? God, I haven't seen Benninghoff in a long time.
I haven't since he moved out of Deep Haven, and I want to say 18, 19.
They moved out in 1819. That was a long time ago. My God.
No, 2018 or 2019.
Oh, really? That long?
Yeah.
Oh, 5 years already.
Yep.
The Golden Bachelorette on ABC, Batman spin-off series, The Penguin on HBO. None of that sounds very good, does it?
The
No.
Penguin is like the least interesting Batman villain.
I agree.
He's
There's
just-
no question.
Well, it was Colin. What's his name?
At first, it was Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, that was he did
was
a
the very
phenomenal
first one.
job with that.
Whack, 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 whack.
But it was God. Who was it? Colin. He was in
Farrell.
Oh, Colin Farrell.
and
did
they
it?
made him up to not look like Colin. You had no idea what.
Oh, really? Okay. Finally, the holidays. Monday is Labor Day. Then there's Beer Lovers Day on the 7th. Stand Up to Cancer Day on the 13th. We've also got a Friday the 13th in September. Talk like a parrot day.
I think it's
Oh, it's pirate. There
Yeah,
it is.
I was
It is
gonna
pirate.
say. Talk
Well,
Like a Parrot
either
Day
one,
sounds very
parrot or
annoying.
pirate. Who gives a rat's ass?
I don't know. Before you get to Pirate Day, you have to read this phenomenal book that I read
Oh,
years
okay.
ago. Phenomenal book about pirates,
What?
Jewish pirates.
Oh,
of the
what a
Caribbean.
shock. You want to hear about there were Jewish pirates?
Jewish pirates
I did
of the
not know
Caribbean.
Oh, I was going to say
phenomenal
the,
book.
I was going to say the dead. What on the Dead Sea or what?
Oh,
You don't even need
Oh.
a boat. You just float across it.
I got to ask you this. Well, you don't even have to comment on this, but is this thing ever going to end with
What at Cornell University?
the far left just kissing ass on Palestine? I don't know anything about Palestine. If I knew a Palestinian, I don't have anything against them or whatever, but I'm getting really tired of this Jew thing. I really am.
It's
I know so many people. I mean, you're the only Jew I don't like. he starts laughing. I don't know. I'll get off that subject, but I do have to bring something up to you and you guys as well.
You're laughing about the book Jewish Pirates of the Caribbean. You're thinking it's just one page.
What is it? The Capri
one
Sea?
page, one guy.
Here's a pamphlet. Jewish sports stars.
A pirate named Captain Muckle. That's who it is. That's exactly.
It is actually. It's a phenomenal book.
Is it really?
Yes, a phenomenal book.
Okay.
And I just happened to catch the title one time many years ago, walking through Barnes and Noble. I saw this title, Jewish Pirates of the Caribbean. I've never heard of Jewish Pirates of the Caribbean, but it depicts everything that happened from 1492, when Columbus sailed the ocean
The
blue,
Ocean Blue, yes.
going forward. And it did cover, we'll say, the early Jewish experience in the New World, and how Jews came across, developed, merchant and trading vessels, and some were pirates to take some of the gold or other materials. Talked about how the Jews established a pretty strong presence in Mexico and Mexico City.
I didn't know that.
Until one of the, we'll say, bishops who was sent from the Vatican to Mexico City said, "We don't like Jews," and proceeded to eliminate them.
This is the part I don't understand. All right, being somewhat a devout Catholic, somewhat, not
Me
very,
too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
our whole religion is based on the Jewish faith.
It's pretty much true, yeah.
I mean,
But there
Christ
were all,
was a Jew.
but there were all these stories, and I have to say, stories never proven about blood libels,
Mhm.
Jews killing babies for, sacrifice, for Passover.
Mhm.
So that's, and if you're looking at groups of people who first were eliminated from a lot of trades, a lot of businesses, and were primarily, we'll say, merchants, lawyers, some doctors, and moneylenders or bankers.
Mhm.
Well, who are you going to blame if there's a problem? There you go.
I would blame who's at fault, but
No,
I wouldn't blame,
But that's what happened.
I don't understand. So basically what you're saying is a couple Jews bought a ship. Thank you very much. Great to be here. Anyway.
No, they're pirates, so they stole it.
That's exactly.
There you go,
They didn't
Andy.
even buy it. They stole it. That's not very nice.
They con
Okay.
somebody out of it.
Because I'm such a giving person, I don't want to get political. I did hear a politician, the national politician, say something yesterday, and I don't know where they got it. And notice I said they, because I'm not even going to say if it was a man or a woman. They tried to say yesterday that they wish that COVID wasn't returning. They're saying COVID is returning, and they wish it wouldn't, because 225 million Americans died from COVID.
Excuse me?
What? Doesn't seem right.
225 million Americans died from COVID.
Isn't that the
Maybe-
same number as people who eat hot dogs?
212, yeah. Pretty close. Maybe they
200
got that.
Maybe that's why there's no traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's like the same type of statistic that the epidemiologist of Minnesota came up with. Actually, that's a much bigger statistic than the epidemiologist of Minnesota came up with. If Governor Walz did not shut down the economy to quote unquote slow the spread, his number was 75 million Minnesotans would die if we did not shut the economy down to stop the spread.
75 million
75
Minnesota.
million.
Or excuse me,
Minnesota.
75,000.
Okay.
Oh,
I was
okay,
gonna say.
okay.
It was
Yeah.
12% of the population
Oh, okay.
would die.
Mhm.
Now, in this particular case, there's somebody saying that 2/3 of the people in the United States
Would be dead.
would be dead.
Yeah, because what, 350, something like 350
Yeah.
million, something like that in America. But I just, and this is a very prominent person running for a very, very high office. And I thought, how do you, and they said it twice, by the way. They repeated it, they said it at the beginning of their little talk, and at the end, they repeated 225 million Americans died from COVID. It's like, how do you, first of all, even believe that? Do you
Yeah.
ever leave the house?
No, they just take whatever is said. Here it is. It's gospel truth right from there.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So how's everything going on your end?
Everything on my end is going pretty well.
Pretty
well.
What
Yeah,
movie was that when the guy just kept going? Pretty. Who was that again? I don't remember.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. So
It was from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, it was. You're absolutely right. It was Larry, wasn't it?
It was
Larry David.
Larry.
Larry David. Pretty. That was pretty funny, actually.
It was very funny.
I didn't see the last season. Was the last season pretty good?
I thought the last season was hilarious.
Okay, I got to watch it then because I always loved that show.
And particularly
I've never
if you're out golfing.
Oh, okay. Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. Now we had my daughter, son-in-law, new grandson have been in for the week. Been
Nice.
to the state fair last
Okay.
Sunday, which was a lot of fun, along with my 4-month-old grandson experienced
The lot of dough.
a lot of dough. We went to a there you go, good memory
remember.
there. Went to a Twins game.
Oh, you
and,
did?
and
There you
a lot of dough got a certificate, first Twins game.
Nice.
Oh,
And somebody that I knew at the Twins came over and, oh, this is your grandson. Have a little Twins bear,
oh,
Nice. TC Bear.
TC bear. So that was good. We had a sad event. We buried my brother-in-law's remains yesterday over at the Adath Yeshurun Cemetery on France Avenue.
Mhm.
So now my brother-in-law joins his mother, his father, and his sister, my wife, all in one
Oh,
place.
there you go. Yeah.
All born in New Haven, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
All moved to Toledo, Ohio, and all together again in Edina, Minnesota.
That's kind of cool.
I'd like to know which Jew came up with moving to Toledo.
That was my father-in-law.
That was my father. Why Toledo, Ohio?
Well, he looked at the territory that he was going to cover,
Oh, okay.
and he said, well, that was pretty centrally located.
Yeah, true.
So he could go from Toledo up to Detroit, and then Ann Arbor, he could get, because it was right on US 80 or the Ohio Turnpike.
Mhm.
He could go over to Chicago, up to Milwaukee, or from there down to Indianapolis,
Yeah, makes
and then
sense.
down to one of his favorite stops in Paducah, Kentucky. Or he could go the other way down to Dayton, Middleton, Ohio, and Cincinnati, or over to Columbus. And
So he thought it out.
so he thought it out.
All right. So, any of the three of you, there was a famous comedian from Paducah, Kentucky. What was his name?
Paducah.
The Duke of Paducah. That's exactly right. He was a country and western comedian. The reason I know that is because when I used to work at Capitol Records,
Yeah.
they had a show at Northrop Hall.
Okay.
So I went over there, and the Duke of Paducah was there. That was Hank Williams Jr. I remember got such a round of applause that he dropped to his knees and bowed to the audience. I will never forget that.
I still am a huge Hank Jr. fan.
Oh, Hank Jr. is great.
I mean, when he was pumping out an album every 6 months
He was.
in the 80s, it was just, and he was all the party guy, country songs, and
Didn't his old man die at like 24 or
29. He's in that
29,
29 group.
something?
Yep.
God, 29 years old. He died backseat of a car, didn't he?
alcohol poisoning. Yep.
No,
Yeah,
country
they're
singer
shocked.
died of alcohol.
They tried to
poisoning?
pass it off as froze to death, but
What was
No.
his name?
Hank Williams.
Senior.
Hank Williams Sr.
Mm-hmm. Very talented guy.
Yep.
Lots of talent.
Oh yeah.
29 years old.
Women loved him.
Oh yeah.
And what is that
He
deal
was-
with that 20?
He was doing that. He was doing the wobbly knees and all that stuff before Elvis did it.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
That is true.
I thought that was Forrest Gump.
Nope.
Forrest
that
Gump
was
did
later.
it too, though.
That was later.
He did it too, but later. That's
I
exactly
started moving my hips.
right. Moving those hips. Well, they literally wouldn't show it on TV at first.
Yeah.
Even when Hank
Just from
Williams was
the-
doing waist up, they'd show him. They wouldn't show him
Yep.
swinging his butt. But what the hell, you know? So how do you guys think the whole country's shaping up here? We got an election coming up in about 2 months, and boy, there's nobody's upset about it.
Nobody's picked a side yet.
I love the way you do this. Nobody's picked a side.
I'm not picking any sides. I'm just kind of watching.
I know
something.
you're like my son Judd. I'm Switzerland. I'm Switzerland.
Switzerland.
I
That's
know.
exactly right.
I'm right in between.
Well, okay. Well, we can get off the subject. I will just say, people, don't you? It's about money. That's
Yeah.
all it's about. It's how much money they can make. They don't give a rat's ass about you.
Can you imagine the amount of money that's been
Oh,
plugged into this election, and they continue talking about it? The new candidate raised $500 million.
$500 million.
And I'm thinking of Danny DeVito jumping up and down just over just over $10 million.
I used to love that show. Oh my God, he was great on that show.
So that's
Is he still married to the same woman?
Rhea Perlman.
Rhea Perlman, yeah.
From
Probably. I
Cheers.
bet not. I
I
would guess
don't
they're
think
not
so.
still married.
That would be a good guess for Hollywood.
I would think so. Because Hollywood, they don't like
They don't stay
staying-
together very long.
No, they do not. No question.
It's 2017 they separated.
There you go. They were very successful together. So let's drift.
They were
apart.
together for 35 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. They were together a long time, and they were very good together on camera
Yep.
too.
That
Really
was,
good.
that was like the old Stiller and Mirren. Wasn't that it?
yeah.
God, Ben Stiller now he's on TV constantly. You hadn't seen him in a long time, but now that he's gotten political, he's on TV all the time.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious. As soon as he started kissing ass to politicians, all of a sudden he's on TV
Yeah,
all the
and
time.
I'll guarantee you which side he's kissing too.
Oh,
to be
I
on TV all the time.
No question about it.
Yep.
I don't know. I got nothing.
You have nothing.
As far as
Nothing on,
politics are concerned, I'm like, okay, whatever.
it's I'm not going to say the same old.
Yeah.
One group. Well, here's what we're promising
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. You've been in office for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't fulfill any of those promises while you were
Correct.
in. We're told that you were next to the guy in charge, and it's emanated that you were responsible for a lot of those decisions. So
What's to fix?
what is to fix
Yeah.
or to
Good
continue?
point.
And you're blaming the other guy,
Who you've had 4 years to fix.
for it's like you're coming in and saying, well, here's what I'm going to do because the other guy didn't do this or that. Well, the other guy's been out of office for 4 years.
And didn't Biden do more executive orders on day one to undo pretty much everything that the other
All
guy
stuff,
did
Yeah.
Yes.
than any other president
Well-
in history?
Well, you saw that they had pictures of that with stacks of things that he was signing.
Yeah, whatever.
It's like, okay.
Tell me, don't pee in my ear and tell me it's raining, okay?
I like that. That's a good quote.
That's very
Not
good.
Pee in my ear and telling me it's raining. That
Now-
works for me.
And now, if somebody were to ask me, well, your life was miserable under the other guy. No, my life wasn't miserable
No,
under the
no,
other guy.
no.
As a matter of fact, my life was not miserable under the other guy,
No, I know.
or any of them.
Yep.
Yep.
My life has been, I'll say, pretty good. For a
Gotta
very,
throw three
very
more
long.
pretties in there,
I'll,
but
throw that in. And the only difference in terms of who was in might have been affected by what the Federal Reserve did, whether to raise interest rates or lower interest rates, which would have some impact on the stock market, and the other impacts would be on what companies were doing to take advantage of, we'll say, of changes in communications. Okay, so if I look at in the 1970s, you had TV. TV's expanding, and nobody really thought much of the internet. And then in order to get better TV reception, you needed cable. So with cable, you had higher speeds, better quality, whether on radio or TV. And you had faster, that led to faster data connections, which eventually, we've got this thing, the internet, which now starts in. Cable TV companies, which were quasi-monopolies to begin with, started, we can make money here in these areas. They started consolidating and became pretty much utilities by the end of the 80s. And now into the 90s, we start having, higher speed through, I'll say, higher speed connections, which enabled the internet to really start proliferating. And once you have that, you have better communications and figuring other ways to get both data and information and eventually video onto smaller and smaller devices. And the devices became more powerful, and companies that were able to take advantage of that did better. And if you invested in those companies, you did pretty well over time. And the only thing that really would stop that were changes in, we'll say, tax and regulation policy. And in the last 4 years, it's gotten to a point where one political group says, all you big companies that are related in one way, shape, or form with personal communications, whether it's Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook or Meta, Google, and now with higher speed chips, NVIDIA, you're bad. You're bad. You're preventing innovation from happening. And you are monopolists. So we are going to do everything in our power to either break you up or continue to fine you or try to limit what you can do because you're bad guys. And have you been out in the world? The reason that, we'll say, Google, which has been sued all kinds of times and is considered, a bad egg or bad actor and a monopolist. You're bad. We need to break you up, fine you because you're a monopoly. You have a monopoly on search. Well, Google is not only a noun, it is a verb. Why is it a verb?
because you say Google that.
Okay,
it's true.
but why do you say Google that, not Yahoo that?
Because
why
it's easier
not-
to say Google.
If you
or
say
not
Yahoo
duck,
there.
or not duck, or
Because it's still easier to say Google.
or AOL. Why do you use Google?
Because I think it's an easier interface.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So you as an individual made the choice.
Mhm.
You made the choice.
Mhm.
And you have government agencies, people within government. This will come back to Tom's thing. It's all about the money.
Hmm.
Well, Google's not paying us enough money. So we have to do something to limit them. But consumers make the choice. If at some point somebody else comes up with a slightly better better deal, Google will see their business start to shrink. The government doesn't need to say,
Yeah.
you know, to muck that up.
Right.
Who's going to compete with Google? Well, you now have the next level or next phase in the internet using artificial intelligence or generative artificial intelligence. And you have numerous small companies. Many of them are not yet public, and they're still raising money. And the money they're raising it from is companies like Google. And Google got its money originally from some of their competitors like AOL and Yahoo were major contributors into the founding of Google. AOL sold their shares when Google first came public at $100 a share, and Google is now 10 times that, and AOL is a fraction of what it once was.
Yeah.
But now you've got a company called OpenAI,
Oh God.
okay, which Microsoft is a big funder of, and they're doing another funding round where Apple and NVIDIA are said to be decent sized funders of this. And OpenAI